You're standing on your porch, watching your 3-month-old baby fast asleep on top of a massive duck with a talking 200 pounds of pure muscle and the teeth. Your heart's racing. Every instinct screams danger. Then something happens that makes you question everything you thought you knew about safety, trust, and what it really means to protect the ones you love. What unfolded next was caught on camera, and honestly, it will change how you see the bond between animals and the children forever. Right, before we dive in, I've got to ask you something. Have you ever trusted your gut about something, only to discover you are completely wrong? Keep that thought, because what happened to this family will make you rethink everything. Mark's hand hit the porch door harder than intended. The bang echoed through the wooden boards, and the onyx that's the dog's name lifted his enormous black head just slightly. His ears twitched, alert but calm. Sir, nestled right against the Great Dane's ribcage, was little Eva, 3 months old, dressed in a mint green baby grow, her tiny fist curled up near her mouth. She hadn't stirred at all, out like a light, her whole body pressed against this massive creature like he was the world's softest, safest mattress. For God's sake, Ellie, Mark hissed through clenched teeth. Again? You've actually left her lying on him? From inside the kitchen, Ellie's voice drifted out through the open window. 15 minutes, Mark. That's all. He was releasing the burrows. Were you not watching them? Yeah, I'm watching. He snapped back, his frustration bubbling over. And what I am watching is our infant daughter lying on a beast that weighs more than me, with teeth like something out of a horror film. Ellie pushed the door open, drying her hands on a towel, looking remarkably unbusied. Oh, don't start. You know full well he won't move. He's steadier than any of those fancy cribs you insisted on buying. Look at her, she's completely sparked out. Mark glared at the scene before him, his daughter's little bald head rising and falling gently with each breath the Great Dane took. Onyx blinked at him, slow and patient, then laid his chin flat on the boards as if he'd been accused of some terrible crime he didn't commit. Yeah, lovely, Mark muttered sarcastically. One wrong move and she's underneath him. Do you remember what my brother said? Never trust a dad that's bigger than your kid. He was right about that. Ellie crossed her arms, her expression hardening. Your brother also said getting a dog was throwing money down the drain. And yet, who sat up with me all night during labor when you were stuck in traffic? Who stayed right by my side when we brought Eva home from hospital? Who hasn't left her side since? Mark rubbed the back of his neck, feeling the tension knotting his shoulders. That still doesn't mean she should be using him as a bed. She only sleeps on him, Ellie fired back, her voice sharp now. You try putting her in the crib. Go on. She screams until she can't catch her breath. But with him, out in 2 minutes flat. Look at her chest, steady breathing. No more gasping, no more thrashing about. She feels safe. Mark crouched down, staring at Ava's tiny foot curled against that glossy black fur. His jaw tightened. Or maybe she's just knackered. Maybe she's given up trying. Ellie's face went hard as stone. Don't you dare twist this. You saw it yourself. That night she wouldn't stop crying. You shouted. He nearly lost my mind. Then Onyx walked in, pushed himself against the sofa, and she went quiet. She reached for his ear. She's been reaching for him ever since. The memory stung. Mark had lost his temper that night, slammed the door. Ava's face had gone bright red, her cries piercing. Then the dad had simply wandered over as if it was his duty, laid his head down, and the miracle of miracles the crying stopped. Ava's little fist had tangled in his ear, and she'd hiccuped herself to sleep. You don't like it? Mark admitted, his voice softer now. You don't like needing him. Ellie placed a gentle hand on his shoulder. It's not about you, love. It's about her. She chose him. Babies know things. They feel who's steady and who's not. She trusts him more than she trusts that crib. More than she trusts you as. Half the time. Mark looked at Onyx again. The Great Dane's eyes were tracking every tiny movement of Ava's fingers. He hadn't budged in 10 minutes. His chest rose and fell in perfect rhythm, steady as a heartbeat. A living metronome. No more wonder she melted against him. But Mark still bristled. So what's the plan? We just let her go up covered in dark hair? Let her nap on a furnace with claws? What happens when he has a dream? What if he shifts in his sleep? Ellie's voice cracked slightly, but she kept it firm. He doesn't. Not when she's there. Haven't you noticed? He sleeps lighter with her ears up, eyes half open. He knows. The words hit deeper than Mark wanted to admit. He had noticed. Nights when Onyx sprawled alone, He twitched and ran in his sleep. But with Eva pressed against him, he turned to stone, still as the porch itself. It should be the one she sleeps on, Mark muttered. Not a bloody dog. Ellie's response was ice cold. Then be as steady as him. Until then, let her breathe where she can. That one should dip. Mark's throat tightened. He opened his mouth but no more words came out. Just the creak of the boards beneath his shifting weight. The minutes dragged. Mark paced back and forth, checked his phone, deleted and wrote the same post 3 times. Rehoming, gentle Great Dane, good with families. His thumb hovered over the publish button. Each time, Eva would sigh against Onyx's ribs, and he couldn't do it. 14 minutes in, Mark leaned against the railing, chewing the inside of his cheek raw. You don't trust this, he whispered to himself. You don't trust any of it. Then Onyx stirred, not with a twitch or a threat, but with purpose. His ears pricked forward. His body tightened beneath Eva. He didn't jolt, didn't disturb her, just shifted his focus entirely, eyes narrowing towards the steps. Mark froze. What is it? What do you hear? Onyx's gaze locked onto the shadows beneath the porch. His throat vibrated with a sound so low it barely registered as a growl. Mark's stomach dropped. Don't you start. He crouched closer, his voice harsh. Ellie. He's reacting to something. Before Ellie could answer, before Mark could slide his hand under Eva, a scream tore through the yard. High-pitched, sharp, panicked. Mark, don't move. The scream hit him like a punch. Mark spun towards the yard. The neighbor lady stood at the fence, both hands clamped over her mouth, eyes wide with horror. It's on your porch, she cried out. Under the blanketed sarat. For a split second, Mark couldn't process what she was saying. Then he saw it. Something gray and slick darting from the gaps beneath the step. Long tail, twitching nose. The rat froze near Ava's drop dummy, whiskers quivering. Oh God! Mark lunged forward, but Onyx moved first. The massive Great Dane shifted just enough to cover Ava's body with his own. His chest curved protectively over her. His front legs slid out like a gate. Ava stirred slightly but didn't wake, still pressed safely against his ribs. The dog's lips pulled tight. A vibration rumbled deep in his throat. Low, steady, dangerous. Don't touch him. Ellie screamed from the doorway, still holding a towel, the smell of bleach trailing after her. Mark, wait. He knows what he's doing. Mark froze, torn in two. Every cell in his body screamed at him to grab his daughter, but something in Onyx's eyes pinned him still. Focused, deliberate, not panicked. The complete opposite of Mark. The rat crept closer, sniffing at crumbs from a biscuit Eva had dropped earlier. One step closer, then another. Onyx's head dropped low, eyes locked on the intruder. He didn't lunge. He didn't snap wildly. He waited, his growl rising like a slow-building storm. Do something, Lydia shrieked from the fence. Onyx did, with terrifying precision. He snapped his jaws once. The crack of teeth echoed like a gunshot. The rat froze mid-step, then bolted but through the gap. Onyx surged forward just far enough to ensure it was gone, then returned instantly to Eva, his chest forming a barrier once again. Mark's knees buckled. He scooped Eva into his arms, holding her so tightly she stirred and whimpered. Ellie dropped a towel over the gap in the boards, shoving a brick on top to seal it. Lydia stood trembling on the other side of the fence, one hand over her heart. Bloody hell, Mark whispered, his whole body shaking. That thing was inches from her. Ellie's face was pale, but her voice stayed firm. And he didn't let it near. He held her steady whilst you froze. Mark glared at her, anger flaring to mask the truth. Don't start. Don't you dare. His voice cracked. He looked down at Onyx, still planted on the porch, eyes glued to Eva even though she was safely in Mark's arms now. The dog's chest rose and fell hard, nostrils flaring, but he hadn't moved until it was absolutely safe. Mark whispered, almost to himself, he actually did it. He covered her like a shield. Lydia leaned heavily against the fence. He thought he'd crush her, but he didn't even flinch wrong. Ellie knelt beside Onyx, pressing her hand to his broad head. He's been her shield since day one. Now you've seen it too. Mark swallowed hard. His phone buzzed in his pocket. Still trembling, he pulled it out. The screen was still open on that half-written rehoming post. Gentle Great Dane needs quieter home. His thumb hovered over it. He stared at the words, then at the dog. Slowly, he pressed delete. Ellie's eyes filled with tears. Show him, Mark. Mark lowered himself until he was kneeling right in front of Onyx. For a moment, Man and Didak just stared at each other. Then Mark bent forward, pressing his forehead against that sleek black skull. His voice broke. "You was wrong. He thought you were the danger. But you're the reason she's still breathing." Onyx huffed a long exhale that fucked against Mark's cheek, then gently nudged his head towards Ava. The baby stretched in her father's arms, her tiny fist brushing against the Great Dane's ear. Ellie stood and pointed upward. "You realize the security camera caught all of that?" Mark looked where she was pointing. A small black dome tucked beneath the eave, blinking red. He'd installed it himself after a package went missing. Every second, Ellie sighed quietly. Her asleep on him, the rat creeping up, him covering her. Everything. By nightfall, the footage was already saved on Mark's phone. He watched it 10 times, unable to believe his own eyes. So it was Ava's fragile little body cold against the deck, the shadow of the rat creeping closer, and the Onyx, immovable and vigilant, snapping just once to send the danger fleeing. He played it again, zooming in this time. You could see Ava's chest rising and falling calmly even as the rat approached. You could see Onyx's eyes never leaving her, not even for a second. Ellie sat beside him on the sofa, whispering, "Post it if you want. People should see what he is." But Mark shook his head. "No more. This isn't for them. This is for us." Proof that he was blind. Ellie smiled faintly, then at least admitted out loud. Mark turned to Onyx, her legs sprawled at their feet. Ava's tiny mint green baby girl pressed against his belly once more. Mark's voice cracked, but he forced the words out. "Your family. You stay." Onyx sighed deeply, lowering his head onto the floorboards as if the argument was finally over. Mark leaned back, whispering to Ellie, "From now on, she sleeps wherever she chooses. If that's him, then it's him." Ellie closed her eyes, relief washing over her face. Finally, Andy in the dim glow of the living room, the security footage replayed one last time on Mark's phone, capturing forever the moment he stopped seeing a threat and started seeing the protector his daughter had already chosen. Weeks rolled by. Mark sat at the kitchen table long after midnight, the soft hum of the fridge the only sound. Onyx lay stretched across the floor, Ava's blanket tucked under his head. The footage still lived on Mark's phone. He hadn't deleted it, hadn't shared it either. Every night, he watched it again, those 15 minutes that changed absolutely everything. In the recording, he no longer saw a reckless gimbal. He saw Ava's trust. He saw a dog's discipline. He saw his own hesitation the moment he froze, mirrored against Onyx's unwavering stillness. And each time, shame pinched his chest. But so did something else. Gratitude. Neighbors whispered about the video after Lydia mentioned it. Some urged him to upload it online. "Call it proof of loyalty," they said. "Let the world see." But Mark never did. "Not for strangers," he muttered. "It's hers. Her story with him." Ellie understood completely. Sometimes she'd catch him in the middle of the night, phone glowing in the darkness, tears caught in his beard. She never interrupted. She knew that the sight of Ava's tiny fist resting on black fur meant more to him than words ever could. By the time Ava grew old enough to crawl, Mark had stopped questioning the bond entirely. He built gates, sealed gaps, set traps, every precaution imaginable. But one thing he no longer doubted: Onyx wasn't just their dog. He was the one constant Ava had chosen for herself. And when strangers came to visit, they always paused at the porch. The security camera's red light blinked overhead, a silent reminder of the night when trust was tested and the truth was captured forever. A baby, a massive black dog, and a father who finally learned to see. So here's my question for you. Would you trust your baby with a dad larger than the Ara? This family did. And what that security footage revealed left them absolutely speechless. You want to know what you think? Do you believe animals know more than we give them credit for? Have you ever witnessed a moment where an animal proved everyone wrong? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I genuinely want to hear your stories. And if this one got to you the way it got to me, do me a favor. Hit that like button, share this with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe so you never miss another story that'll make you see the world just a little bit differently. Sometimes the protectors we need aren't the ones we expect. Sometimes they've been set all along, waiting for us to finally open our eyes.